Amen.
Please join in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Blaylock. Need a motion for the approval of the June 4th, 2024 work session minutes.
So moved.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
8 with District 1 abstaining.
Okay. Need a motion for the approval of the June 4th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes.
So moved.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
All right, Mr. Mayor, you're up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to see everybody. Thank you all the residents for coming out today to the city council meeting. Today's message will be brief. We'd first like to start with a financial update. And so coming up on the big screen, some slides that will reflect how revenue streams are trending for sales and use tax, lodging tax, gasoline tax, and alcoholic beverage tax. First slide will show our sales and use tax revenue still has a growth rate that is trending upwards each month since February, when it was at its lowest level since the fiscal year commenced. Revenue from sales and use taxes increased for the month of May nearly 6% above the same period of the prior fiscal year. Overall, sales and use tax revenues continue to trend at more than 5% year over year, which is positive for our bottom line. Although the cost of many goods are more expensive now than they were in the previous year, the increased growth in sales and use tax revenue is an indicator that citizens are continuing to spend at local grocery markets, restaurants, and athletic venues. These are the sectors where most of the growth has occurred. Next slide. Although lodging tax revenue declined in April, it rebounded more than 6% in May compared to the same period in fiscal year 2023. This revenue source year over year is almost 6% greater than it was a year ago. I believe we're still poised to see lodging tax revenue grow even more before fiscal year end due to the opening of new venues such as the Equal Justice Initiative Monument Park and conferences that will be convening in our city. Third slide. Gasoline tax revenue rebounded as expected nearly 6% in May from a deficit of nearly 2%. The revenue source has grown nearly 4% over the same period in the previous year. Although there has not been any growth year over year, I'm hopeful that with the trend towards lower gas prices and getting into the summer months, we will see more citizens and tourists traveling in and around our city, which will allow for a break-even amount of revenue compared to the previous year. Next slide. Although the alcoholic beverage tax revenue had a negative rate of more than 5% in April compared to the same period in the previous year, you can definitely see there was a significant rebound in May. This revenue source was up more than 71% compared to, I didn't know it was up that much. May 2023, somebody had some parties going on. I guess graduation helped us out, commencements and everything else, which is equivalent to $116,000. I just had seen 71% month over month alcohol outtakes that I've been here, so class of 2024 really did it up. Contributing factors are some taxpayers reported larger dollar amounts of collections in the previous month, and there was the addition of some new businesses that reported alcohol sales for the first time year over year. The alcoholic beverage revenue tax has a growth rate of more than 7%. Finally, year-end projections for revenue and expenditures will be available at the next council meeting, July the 2nd. And I just want to thank Councilman Mitchell and Pro Tem Pruitt for meeting with us the other day. I think it was Friday, when we met just with the council leadership to discuss some things that we will be wanting to talk about in this upcoming budget and some of the council priorities. Now, just a couple of brief public safety updates that I would like to share. First, as the council knows, for many years, the Montgomery Police Department has worked closely with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, and other regional and federal law enforcement agencies to increase police presence and cooperation at our request. We've also worked with our partners at the federal level as well. We've already recently expanded this collaboration. As a result, you may have noticed more Alaina and the Sheriff's Office taking on an increased role in policing traffic violations along I-85 and I-65 corridors and other areas throughout the city. You might even have seen the Sheriff's deputy more when you call 911 for assistance. This is a role that Alaina and the Sheriff's Office have always played in our community, but you'll see more of their presence for the foreseeable future. The cooperation by our law enforcement community is to be commended. The end result means our Montgomery Police Department officers will be freed up to respond to active situations quicker, and more of our resources can be put towards investigations and other gumshoe police work. And combined with a shift in our scheduling philosophy, including more officers on patrol at night and other high call periods, we already have seen results. We're always looking for new ideas, and one of the things that we'll see is over the last week, MPD has made major progress in a number of active cases, including making 6 homicide arrests and identifying suspects and others, which we are currently working with the U.S. Marshals to detain. Expect more news to come. Friends, we are fortunate to have one of the best trained forces in the state. It is one reason why so many other agencies from across the country send their recruits to learn from our officers. And there's another reason why our department is so often targeted by others to fill their vacancies. But you have heard me say this before, keeping Montgomery safe is always top of mind, and it's not just the police department's burden alone. When we look at how we police this community, it takes community involvement. When we look at how we bring about law enforcement, it means being proactive with departments like our Office of Violence Prevention, our faith-based partners, and our community partners. When we think about all of these things, we're excited that we have the cooperation from surrounding law enforcement agencies to help us in other areas such as events coordination, management, and safety, whether that be at the riverfront, whether that be at ballparks, or whether that be at East Chase or other events that are going on from 5Ks to the arts and other events out at Blount Cultural Park. So we've asked Chief Hall and MPD to find more ways to engage with more of these entities. And soon we will announce an unprecedented collaboration to identify, pursue, and arrest our community's most violent offenders. This partnership will include officers from the Montgomery Police Department, the Montgomery Sheriff's Office, Alaina, the Attorney General's Office, and others. It will include an unparalleled amount of resources, collaboration, and training, surveillance, and intervention that will be brought forth. So we look forward to sharing more information with the council and our public in the coming weeks about this task force and other crime suppression efforts. But it goes without saying that we're not going to arrest our way out of this challenge. We have to make sure we're investing in proactive means to invest in young people and those adults who are most at risk, making sure that we're stepping outside of the norm to find non-traditional ways to engage them and to find a different way of conflict resolution, of settling disputes, as well as a different way of lifestyle that takes them out of the path of criminality. This will take a long-term sustainable commitment from the council, the community at large, business leaders, and others to make sure that our families and our children receive the resources they need to be the best they can be in this community. We look for partnerships at the county level. We look for partnerships at the state level. And we certainly will continue to look for partnerships at the federal level. It is critically important that we meet all Montgomery residents where they are. And we have to ensure them that we're not going back to ways that have been proven to be dysfunctional and ineffective of policing our communities. It takes a collaborative approach, a 360-degree approach to make our communities safer. And so that's why we propose investing $6 million annually towards this effort, and I hope that the council will join me in funding community-based intervention programs that are proven to work in other communities that we believe can work in ours, both large and small. So I welcome other ideas and reforms we can pursue. From the council and the public, we'll continue to have the meetings with leadership as well as individual council members on some of their ideas and what more we can do from a policy and legislative standpoint. Now, as I conclude, I do want to announce a few noticeable quick hires You can tell he's new because he doesn't know where to sit. But we want to welcome Kelvin King as our new Inspector General. Kelvin, you're not in timeout. You can sit over here with the other cabinet directors, but Kelvin is a police officer, so he probably felt a little bit more comfortable being over there with MPD. With 27 years, I think, in the FBI, and holding the rank as chief as well. So he comes with a tremendous law enforcement background, and one that's universally respected, not just around the state, but around the nation, and what he brings. So we're looking forward to his ideas and the initiatives that he has to really enhance our internal investigations through the Office of the Inspector General. So Kelvin, welcome aboard, and we look forward to working with you. We also have another new hire, one that's a familiar face to a lot of us, in particular those who are from this area, those who have been involved in high school sports and athletics. Brandon Dean is familiar to many of us as the son of late Montgomery County Commission Chairman Elton Dean, ASU baseball. Now, I think you put in the word star, not a star. Well, when we get to this age and stage, regardless if you play baseball at ASU or if you played any other sport, we're all stars because we get a chance to add to our own bio. So we commend you for not only being a true ASU Hornet, but also being someone who is really engaged with our youth and wants to see our Parks and Recreation Department attain the heights that we know are possible. Brandon has spoken fondly about his days growing up in the Parks and Recreation Department and what he seeks to bring to this city and our Parks and Recreation Department through youth programming and initiatives. And he was most recently the director of the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association, a former educator, coach, school administrator, and school system athletic director. He has mentored student athletes, coaches, and athletic administrators. I know he will help us tremendously in finding new ways to mentor and engage with our area's youth. And one of the things that Brandon and I talked about was something that we've been talking about here for probably about 4 years with Councillor Jenwright as well as President Calhoun about how we reinvest and re-engage in middle school sports and athletics. We had a meeting with Montgomery Public Schools prior to Brandon coming on. We will now have another meeting with them about how we can make sure, again, we're reaching these young people at an early age to teach them critical skills that will be more applicable to life than they even are sports. And he's very passionate about that and has some great ideas about where we can take middle school sports and programming for boys and girls, and that's very important, and to make sure that we put the partnership back in there between the city and Montgomery Public Schools, and to make sure that we have positive role models that, again, can help us to serve as mentors in our community. And that's something that the City Council has wanted to see for a number of years, and something that we want to see in the Mayor's office and partnering with our school system in this way. We look forward to the next meeting and with Brandon's ideas and initiatives being brought to the table. So Brandon, we want to welcome you as the new director of the city's Parks and Recreation Department. Lastly, we want to announce a new director of communications. Miguel Diaz-Lucier has been appointed the city's new communications director. Miguel, who was most recently the assistant news director for WAFF-TV, that's the NBC affiliate in Huntsville. A news veteran with more than 2 decades of experience, Miguel brings to our office a fresh perspective and extensive newsroom experience that will be instrumental in elevating our communication strategy, strengthening our outreach efforts, and ensuring everyone in our community stays well informed about our efforts to build a better Montgomery. Miguel, if you please stand up, we want to welcome you to the city. So again, not everybody's going to Huntsville. We get some of Huntsville to come this way too. Miguel, welcome aboard, and we look forward to you working with the Mayor's office, the city clerk, and our council on spreading the good news about all that's happening in our community. Finally, I do want to conclude my remarks by acknowledging that June is Pride Month. Here in Montgomery, we reaffirm our city's commitment to creating a diverse, inclusive, welcoming, and safe place for all who choose to live here. For all those who have participated in some of the events of this month, we say thank you, and just understanding that there will be more events coming up to conclude this month. But we know the LGBTQ+ community is an integral part of our city, and we thank you for making Montgomery such a special place. With that, Mr. President, this will conclude my remarks, and I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions for the mayor?
Mr. President,
Mr. Mitchell?
Mr. Mayor, the council, today I saw a resolution from the county commissioners on reallocating the money that we set down 18 months ago, and we all agreed. We went to these meetings with Levitate, Thrive Montgomery, and we went in on good faith that the county was going to do their part. They have pulled their money away from the community centers. They are starting to pull their money away from violence in the city of Montgomery. And I think the breakdown, and I have no problem with them giving Sheriff Cunningham money, but to give him $500,000 and say that you want to put more boots on the ground, what, you going to hire 4 people in 2 cars? You want to give, I think, $600,000 to the DA office to prosecute 400 cases with 2 people. How many people are you going to prosecute in the next 2 years with two additional prosecutors? And then you want to do $750,000 with no data to support. You just say programs. We have everything set up, and I told the council this years ago. We help the county, and we in the budget we have Montgomery Helping Family Initiative, the same program that the city has, but we ask nothing from Montgomery Helping Family Initiative, but we drill our own Office of Violence and Prevention. And I just don't understand. We sit here in good faith. I think Councillor Johnson just last month wanted to do away with their transportation in the county, but in good faith we got a call and we say, hey, the president said we're going to move forward with this $500,000 that the county wanted, and I just don't understand in good faith that they're not working with us, and we're trying to do everything in the city of Montgomery to combat crime, and I just don't understand, Mayor, in the county. I just don't understand, Mayor.
Councilman Mitchell, I share your frustration in that I agree with everything you said 100%. Not one syllable do I disagree with. I went and spoke to the county chairman and asked whether or not we could go to the state for what they are looking to do. I think the state is willing to partner with us on issues around public safety. I think that's an ask we should make before we take any of the money out of what's been approved, what was agreed upon by the 9 city council members, the 5 county commissioners, as well as myself. And I think maybe we've had maybe a communication challenge there, but I told him I think that we should talk about that more because I believe that the Office of Violence Prevention is satisfying some of those initiatives, and what you and Councillor Johnson and some others have put forth through the American Rescue Plan Act with the research, with the discussion, I think will meet exactly what we all want to see here, not only in our city, but throughout the county. And my hope is that the county commission will come to the table maybe with the city council members and myself to have a discussion about how we do this, because I do think that it is not a good it's not a good action to take after 18 months of having an agreement to pull money back out for things that we're already doing. These initiatives were agreed upon by all members of the city council and the county commission, and I think there's a different way to address their issue than the way they have approached it. So what I would ask us to do, Mr. President, is maybe to get with the county commission chairman and the vice chairman to have that discussion between now and 2 weeks when they vote on it. And I would also, as I mentioned to the county commission chairman, ask us to invite our state legislature and our state delegation to assist us in this endeavor, because I believe that there is a willingness and a cooperation at the state level at this time that may not have been there in the past to work with us should we make the ask to address the needs of the district attorney's office, which is a state office. It's not a county office. It's a state office that the county often has to foot the bill and support. Sheriffs, very same thing. The sheriffs cover Pike Road, not just Montgomery, and other areas. So, you know, everybody ought to have a little bit of skin in this game to make sure that if there are some needs that have to be addressed, that it's not taken from what's been agreed upon by the members of the city council, by members of the county commission, and the mayor, and by the public. It was 18 months of public meetings that we had, and I just don't think it's the right approach. And I hope that the chairman and myself, as well as the city council leadership, can have that discussion before they vote on that moving forward. But I certainly share your frustration and second everything that you said, and I hope that we can find some way to move forward and invite the state of Alabama in to assist us in these efforts to make our city and our region safer so that we can continue the growth and we can continue the positive progress that we have seen over these last several years.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
you shared with us in the meeting that there was some money that was sitting up there that has not been allocated.
So there's well over $100 million of American Rescue Plan Act funds that have not been allocated at the state level. And that's one of the things I shared with Chairman Singleton, is that I thought that we should go to them and make the ask first before we pulled it out of local funds, because what we have to get everyone to understand is, again, Montgomery is the heartbeat of Central Alabama. We have the strongest economic presence of any urban area in our state, Mobile, Birmingham, and Huntsville included, relative to the rest of our region. So it's important for the state that Montgomery succeeds, because that impacts all of Central Alabama, even more so than Birmingham, Mobile, and Huntsville. So with that money, my thought was that we should make that ask to the state and explain to them why and what it is that we need before we pull it out of these initiatives that all of you agreed on, as well as the county commission.
And that has to be allocated pretty quick, doesn't it?
It has to be allocated very
spent,
quick.
But I mean, it has to be allocated.
By December.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, by the end of the year.
Absolutely. And again, I think that there's not only the resources, I believe there's the will for the state to be involved in these areas around additional judges, around assisting the district attorney's office and the sheriff's office. We should not take that out of our crime prevention efforts that you all have researched and were agreed upon with the county commission. So let's make sure that the state is engaged and involved, and I think that's something that they would be willing to do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank
Mr.
you.
Mitchell. Any special committee report?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. We met with the museum on last Wednesday. A lot of information came out. We asked both councils to get together. Stacy is not here today, so she did ask me to carry this particular item over so she could be here to address any concerns or any issues.
Okay. Any other committees?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one suggestion I would like to make. We have two meetings upcoming. One is August the 6th, which is National Night Out. And we also have one on December 3rd, which is the lighting of the Christmas tree at the riverfront, which we were late to last year because of the train. But I'd like to move both of those meetings, if you will, so we can attend the National Night Out events with our district associations, and then also on the 3rd, if we could move those meetings to 11 and a 12 o'clock meeting. Mr.
Yes.
Grimes says he would like to move them to 3. It doesn't matter, just as long as we move them up and we can get where we need to be on
just
time.
do this for me, Ms. Beard. On our next meeting in July, first meeting, just bring that resolution and then we'll adopt on the time as we
Okay.
move forward.
Ms. Blaylock? Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Any other committees? Okay. In our old business, guys, before we take the first item, I need a motion to reconsider the pay increases that we passed, ordinance number 19/2024, and I need a motion to reconsider because there was a typo in there when it said public safety altogether.
I so move.
All right, I have a motion to reconsider. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
All right, so you have the ordinance, Ms. Blaylock? I have both of them. I'm gonna pass them out, pass those out.
Yes, sir, there's a substitute ordinance changing public safety to MPD sworn officers.
Okay, that was the typo on the one we passed, said public safety, and we're changing it to the implement for the MPD sworn officers at the 15, 5, and 5. So I have a motion to substitute, no, need a motion to adopt.
Yes, sir.
Need a motion to adopt. All in favor, please?
Well, we
I
gotta
need
do all
somebody
the
to do the
motions
motion.
and then vote backwards.
Oh, my bad.
I make the motion to adopt the substitute.
Okay,
Now we need a second motion to substitute.
Ms. Johnson,
I second the motion.
Thank you. 'Cause I made-
Second motion to, we have a motion to adopt, now we need a
motion
motion
to
to
substitute.
substitute.
I need a motion to substitute.
Motion to substitute.
All in favor of the first motion, please raise your hand.
When do I do that?
If you wanna make a
Mr. President, I want to make a motion to amend, please,
Okay,
to include majors and down, please.
on which one are you talking about?
Yeah, on the 15.
Okay, so you want to amend from lieutenants and below to majors and down?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, have a motion to amend.
Mr. President, but before you get to, can we ask our finance director for some insight on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Making an amendment like that, and we have not run those numbers, what we ran were based on actual positions filled at the time, plus getting MPD sworn officers up, down from 490 to 400, and there were about 86 vacancies at the time, and we are being able to afford that through attrition. To do that and not know that we can afford to do it, because those numbers have not been run like that. So, and I know this budget can't grow more than 2% in the current year, considering our revenue sources. We don't have any new ones. We're looking at some, but with the cost of health insurance going up and the city taking on the bigger portion of that, and when you increase raises, you know that your FICA and your Medicare are going to increase as well. And what we have, the payroll system is already available for the departments to look at, and those numbers are based on what was in the original amendment. We would have to go back and try to recalculate that, implement it into a new software system, which took my staff all weekend to make work. And that's what happened when you go to new software. You got bugs in it, you got to work them out. So,
Miss Betty,
Yes.
we're only talking about 13 captains and 5 majors.
I still need to run the numbers, Mr. Pruitt. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That's where I stand.
all right, thank you,
Does
Ms.
the
Betty.
council
Thank
mind
you.
if we carry this over?
I think we're trying to get this done in the beginning of the fourth quarter, so that's why we moved it, and we're
Okay.
going to make an amendment. And I understand what you're trying to do, Mr. Pruitt, but I mean, we're trying to do some for our officers, and we're not going to always make everybody happy. You know,
No.
we did a 15%, 14% raise for all officers
I agree.
last year, so we're just trying to help the boots on the ground.
Listen, I totally agree, and we've talked about it, and where the horse got out of the barn was, our previous chief sent out a congratulations letter on receiving 25% pay increase. And, you know, that's not our fault, that's not the mayor's fault, but, you know, and then to come back, so, you know, again, and we can go ahead and do it, and we'll revisit it next council meeting, but Mayor, I want to look at that public safety tax.
Okay.
You know, about the property tax referendum, because we're gonna have to do something for a lot of stuff. We're gonna have to, so we'll just look at it next council meeting.
Okay.
I'll withdraw that, Brenda.
Are we coming
and
up on the
I'll bring it up
budget?
next council meeting, and I'll get with.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. All right,
Clarification, sir. I heard the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I thought that's what we talked
You
about.
mean like July?
Yes, ma'am.
But you realize how much time has already passed, and we're in the thick of budget. For us to make July happen now, I mean, we're gonna be working 24/7, period, for the
I
next.
believe in you, Ms. Betty, I believe in you.
I'm too old for you believing me, thank you.
All right, so we get ready. Okay, so we have a
So
motion.
I'm gonna withdraw that, Ms. Brenda. We'll bring it up as a line item next.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt.
When are we bringing it up?
In budget.
You have the motion to substitute before you.
Okay, we have a motion to substitute. I did get the motion from Ms. Johnson. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous? Now the
None, need a motion voting on the main motion. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. The ordinance is readopted as substituted.
Thank you, Council. All right.
Item number 1, ordinance rezoning 4 lots located on the south side of Carter Hill Road between West Haven Lane and Sanford Street from an O1 to an R60M district.
Okay, this is I have someone on the agenda, Ms. Catherine Douglas, to speak to item number 1. Ms. Douglas?
Do you want me to chime, Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
3 minutes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Catherine Douglas, but I'll have Attorney Wilson speaking for me.
Okay, Mr. Wilson.
Ms. First, say good afternoon to the council. This matter is before the council on the request of David and Catherine Douglas to resume.
Mr. President, sir, could you raise your voice, please?
Speaking to you, Mark.
Thank you.
This matter is before the council on the request of David and Catherine Douglas to rezone 4 lots located on the south side of Carter Hill Road. The Douglases' plan is to build quadruplexes for college students only. The property is zoned O1 for office. The request is made to rezone the property to R60M, which is a multifamily residential zoning district. The property to the north of the lots is Alabama State University and is zoned institutional. The property to the south and west is zoned R6S, which is single-family residential. The property to the east is zoned O1 office. The application was submitted to the Board of Adjustment. All documents and matters necessary for the Board of Adjustment to consider the application were submitted, and the Board approved the application and found the proposed rezoning request is consistent with the envisioned Montgomery 2040 comprehensive plan. This plan was unanimously adopted by the Planning Commission and the City Council. The City Council adopted this request July of 2022. The plan, among other things, reviews the availability of housing in the Montgomery area and found, among other things, that the available housing in the city neglects substantial portions of what the plan identifies as missing middle housing, which housing types include and fall between single family and large mid-sized buildings. The missing middle housing includes such housing as duplexes, triplexes, county yard apartments, townhouses, and live-work units. The plan concludes that the establishment of missing middle housing is crucial to the long-term success of the Montgomery community. To address the shortfall in the missing middle housing, the Planning Commission and the
Attorney
city,
Wilson, I need you to go ahead and wrap it up. We have 3 minutes.
from now,
No. 3 minutes from when you started. Go ahead, I give you about 45 seconds to wrap it up, sir.
45 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let me just say that the plan adopts the type of project that has been introduced here today.
Okay.
Any decision made by this council to the contrary will be contrary to the plan adopted by this council. Okay. This area also already includes duplexes, triplexes. They have apartment complexes. A number of years ago, this city adopted a plan for duplexes on Finley Avenue, which is less than 100 yards from the site that they propose to build this complex. All of this is consistent with the plan which you have adopted. Now, you know, I could go on, I want to say something about the legal aspect of it, but since you have limited my time, I won't address it. I will only say that my understanding of the law is this.
Okay.
That a position in opposition would be, in my view, violation of the Fifth Amendment taking clause of the Constitution of the United States,
Okay.
which requires compensation if you don't take it. And they have concluded that decisions by the city council which deprive people of the economic value of their property is a denial of the Fifth Amendment to the United States.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. I understand where you're coming from. All right. Thank you. That's the public hearing. It's proper for the council. Mr. Samansky.
Yeah, Mr. President, I've had a lot of conversations. The developer, city, residents have been calling. Spoke recently with Alabama State. Obviously, there's a need for student housing in the area. ASU said the very same thing to me as well, and they're interested in the property potentially down the road. And so I know we've been at this for a few months now. I think it's just time for us to make a vote on it, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
Okay. Have a motion to adopt. All in favor, please raise your hand.
7,
All opposers have the same right.
2,
All right. Good luck with your business, man.
Thank you.
Item 2, resolution finalizing the revocation of the business license of Stakeout 2930 Carter Hill Road. Council, this has been brought into compliance.
Councilman Calhoun, you've got some papers you need to pass out on that one.
Okay.
From the left.
Okay. The owners for Stakeout, please come forward. Item number 2.
Yeah. We got to vote. We got to pass this. We got to vote. Come on.
She came in this morning, signed a payment agreement, and has made a down payment on it.
Okay. So she's in compliance.
Yes, sir.
So we need a motion to deny.
No, we need to adopt this.
Okay.
Need to make a motion to adopt and a motion to substitute.
Okay. Mr. Pruitt.
Make a motion to adopt and substitute.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
This is voting on the motion to substitute. There's 2 separate votes.
Okay.
Okay. This is the motion to only substitute. Please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
All right. Mr. Pruitt.
Now
Make
the
a mo-
motion to adopt.
Make a
as
motion to
substituted.
adopt, substitute.
I have a motion to adopt as substituted. Please raise your
All in
hand.
favor?
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted as
Thank you, Council.
substituted. Item 3, application for a restaurant retail liquor license doing business as La Pachanga, 127 Eastern Boulevard.
All right. Mr. Grimes.
I went out and visited. I have no problem with this. It's just for their restaurant.
Okay. Owners for the, please come forward, sir.
We've already held a public hearing.
Okay. Your name for the record?
Paulo Bastida.
Okay. Yeah, it didn't play loud.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Grimes.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your business.
Thank you very much.
Item 4 is now moot because the business license has been turned in.
Okay.
Item 5, show cause hearing on the proposed revocation of the business license of the Velvet Room Bistro LLC at 3526 East L Circle.
Okay. Owners for the Velvet Room, please come forward.
They've moved out of that location. They moved out Thursday and Friday.
Okay. All right. Need a motion to suspend the rules?
Okay, the resolution revoking the business license. Yes, sir.
Motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
Need a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Mr. President,
Mr. Mitchell.
one question for the business. So, are they able to just move to a location and start back over? What ended up happening? And that's my biggest question. Are they just gonna move to another location and start over? Do they have to come back in front of the council? What would happen?
Yes, they do.
They would have to come back.
Even if they
Gotta
turn
come
in,
back before y'all.
Right.
even on the one that turned in her license? Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Next item.
Item 7, resolution approving an application for business license doing business as DeMarco's Stoner Cafe, 3119 Atlanta Highway.
Okay. This is, on item number 7, I have Marco Thornton and Karen Owens. Please come forward. All right, this is a public hearing.
No,
Anyone?
sir. No, sir, it's not.
Oh, no, that's just a resolution, my bad. Okay. Marco. Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Your name for the record?
Marco Thornton.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Thornton?
Yes, Mr. Calhoun. I couldn't think of your name. Long day. Yes, sir. Can you address some of the business issues that we have with this, with the business line? I mean, not the business, but some of the things that he needs to take care of in revenue first, please. I can't hear you. What now?
He's got some taxes from another business he owns that he owes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. The taxes is a late fee, and I was under the impression I could pay every quarter. So when I went to pay this quarter, they gave me a late fee for it.
Okay. No? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think maybe that was we miscommunicated there.
I remember talking to you and told you that you had to have them taxes paid.
Yes, ma'am. When I paid them, like I said, it was the late fees that I still owe. I paid the taxes, but it was the late fees, and I was under the impression I could pay every quarter.
No.
And it was the first quarter.
No.
Well, I owe late fee, but the taxes I have paid.
He still owes late fees.
Okay, and then we've got a cease and desist in 24, April of 24.
Right.
Okay. I just want to table this indefinitely till we have some time, until we can draw up an ordinance that gives some boundaries on a business such as this, regarding this type of business in a neighborhood close proximity to 3 churches, 2 churches, 3 schools, and some residential areas.
Yes, ma'am. I was just at 3514 Eastdale Circle. I moved my location because of my customers. They did not want to come to that area because of the parking lot with the shooting and stuff in the parking lot.
Yes, sir.
And I changed locations back here, and I closed in October, Eastdale Circle, and I moved down to 3119 Atlanta Highway. And in February, I went for the license, and I didn't hear nothing. And when I went back a week or so ago to get the approval of the license, they gave me all that after I had got my CO, and I did not know nothing about it. But I'm just changing locations. I was just at 3514 Eastdale Circle doing the same thing.
Yeah, but you've changed the names. Is the name of your
No, it's
business?
still DeMarco's. Only thing's different is to the exotic hemp, it became Stoner Cafe.
Right.
And both have EIN numbers.
Stoner Cafe.
Yes, and it's still just a smoke shop. And when I was going to get my CO, they was under the impression it was going to be a restaurant. And I told them, no, it's going to be the same thing I was at 3514 with.
I just want to carry this over as well. I just have some reservations about this. And I think we need, like I said, I want to look into a resolution or something else with this. I went by it. It's Old Pizza Hut on Atlanta Highway.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And I saw all the things that you're going to be selling and doing, and some of those are not appropriate for that area.
I sell water, tea, coffee, CBD accessories. I really sell more accessories like T-shirts, socks.
And you sell
Hookahs, I sell hookahs, and everything I sell is non-tobacco, non-nicotine, and I sell no alcohol.
Okay. Just hold on 1 minute. I didn't know we were going to get into this.
Okay.
Just grant me a few
Ms. Beard.
minutes. Yes, sir.
While are we waiting on Ms. Beard, Ms. Owens, you want to speak to us on this item?
Let her speak.
Good afternoon.
Good
My
afternoon.
name is Karen Owens, and I'm on behalf of the Morning Youth Eastbrook neighborhood. We really oppose this business. DeMarco's Stoner Cafe at 3119 Atlanta Highway. we, our neighbors, feel that it would not be beneficial to our neighborhood, the nearby schools, the children walking from school, and the churches. There's already multiple businesses already there. Actually, there's a Wizard Smokehouse that's right over from it. There's a Discount Tobacco Outlet, which is right down the street. And there's Circle K that's kind of cat-a-corner. There's also Love Stuff, because on the picture it says adult toys. There's Love Stuff already down Alaina Highway. Then on down Alaina Highway, we have Capital City of Cannabis, Health and Wellness. I just feel like we don't need any more.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Owen. Ms. Beard? This is a retail store?
Yes, sir. And like I said, I was just at 3514 Eastdale Circle, and as I'm sitting here, y'all just went over why I had to move out that area just then, when y'all were just reviewing their people before. And like I said, I have been there for a total of 2 years, and I have no problem, I had no problem until the parking lots started doing like that, and my customers did not want to come, and my workers did not feel safe working there. So I closed in October. I got the building on Alaina Highway in October, and in February, when I went to get my CO, I did not know none of this. And now that I've invested my time, my money, y'all telling me that because other businesses are right there, I cannot change location and make it safe for my people.
Mr. President, Ms. Beard, I understand what you're saying, and this is not against the law, but I always recommend that people speak with the council members and the business office and do your research prior to investing your money. And I would always get my license before I invest any money. Because anything now in a Stoner Cafe near a restaurant.
But I had my license already, so I was under the impression that it wouldn't be no issue because I already had license for this.
But you were under the impression, but it had not been approved by the council.
No, I had license for this for my store. It was
in the retail location?
Yes.
And so this is near a residential area, it's proximity to churches. So when you're researching those type of things, before you invest your money, you should go and wait. That's just like getting an alcohol license. We always say wait, because you don't know, and if you haven't done the proper research, which you hadn't, because you knew not to be about
everything I sell, ma'am, is laid on the miscellaneous items.
I understand what you're saying. I recommend, because we're right now meeting in the Commerce Committee, speaking about different licensing and the way that we do business in the city of Montgomery. Ms. Beard, I recommend that we carry this over. And like you said, indefinitely, and sir, I will probably work on that business name, Stoner Cafe in the city of Montgomery, and we'll revisit this at another time.
Well, can I continue with the name Exotic Hemp? Because that's the name as original was, DeMarco's Exotic Hemp. And I was licensed for this, and I have paid the taxes, and I was licensed 2 years for this at 3514 Eastdale Circle, less than 3 miles away.
But were you in the mall? Or
no, ma'am, I was right in next to the PNC Bank, right there where y'all just got through reviewing the very room.
Okay.
Mr. President, if you, one question for licensing. So if he wasn't past due on his taxes, would he have had to come? Because this is the first time I've seen a retail store come in front of the city council for approval.
He was asked to come.
Yes, they wrote me a letter and said, please, before you give me my license, would come before the city. And I was trying to understand why would I have to come before the city, and I already was licensed for this previous.
So did you have to come back in front of the city the first time when you were?
No, sir. Like I said, all my license are miscellaneous items.
And we do need to visit that, because smoke shops aren't illegal, but we do need to know where they are located.
And like she said just then, I sell waters, tea, coffee, hookahs, non-tobacco product, and I sell black seed oil.
And adult toys.
The adult toys is just will come in a pair above me, and the toys is like oil and honeys. It's nothing to inject yourself with or put in you.
So, Mr. President, if he would have stayed in this location, he wouldn't be in front of us, correct?
That's correct.
And if I guess Ms. Ingram, I guess is no variance when it comes to tobacco, for us it being close to a church, for us being. So, are we gonna do another ordinance, because we are changing as we go? And I tell people all the time, in the court of law, you can't go in there and say, just because I don't want it. We have to change that. We can't just say because we don't want it. We have to give more, we got to get some data why we don't want his store in our neighborhood. We just can't say because he's selling retail that we don't want it. And I hate that we're doing this. If we're going to change it, let's change it, but don't bring them in front of us, then make up stuff as we go. We shouldn't do that.
I'm not making up anything. I want to carry this over. I'm going to do some more research. You and I will have a conversation. And and the name that you have, we're going to...
Like I said, I can't stay with Exotic Hemp. I have EIN numbers for both. I just felt like cafe and the space of the building made it more exotic. But the name is DeMarco Exotic Hemp. And the flower that's on there is a cannabis flower, not a marijuana flower. It's a CBD flower. And I have more logos as well. And all I want to do is just sit here and continue to do for the community as I have been doing. No one never talk about when I do all the back to school drives. No one talk about when I go donate to the schools. But I'm here to do business, and y'all's telling me someone next door to me can do it, but I can't do it. Something wrong with that.
We will have a conversation, Mr. Thornton, okay? We'll have a conversation, and I'm going to carry it over, please, Mr. President.
Carry over or tabled indefinitely? That's two different motions.
I'd like to carry it over.
That means it'll come up on the next agenda.
Then I want to table indefinitely.
Tabled indefinitely, okay.
Wait a minute, we're gonna table this indefinitely, or you gonna talk to him about it being, because honestly, only issue I have right now with this is taxes need to be paid up, and if he hadn't paid his late fees, this is a retail business that we're talking about.
And it's close to 3 different schools.
But if we put a Walmart there, it could be close to 2 different schools.
And it's 3 of us on Ann Street. It's one less than a block from me. I'm like
Right, I
literally
understand that,
next door.
Mr. Thornton, I understand that. But that was all before mine, and I know that there's some things that I need to look into, and you and I will have a conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
So you wanna carry it over for 2 weeks?
I'm going to table this indefinitely until I do some more research. I will talk with him, and then we'll make a decision on that at that point in time.
Thank you. Hold your applause.
So, Mr. Thornton, I think I have your phone number, so I'll be getting in touch with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We got a table motion?
Yeah, tabled indefinitely.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that, sir.
All right.
It really,
Item 8, resolution approving an application for an alternative transportation service doing business as XL Transportation, 4601 Troy Highway.
okay, item number 8, Mr. Stephen Huntley. Your name for the record, sir.
Stephen Huntley.
All right. All right, Mr. Mitchell, this is a resolution approving a application for a alternative transportation for the Hunt. Need a motion?
Move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
Mr. Mitchell?
Charlie got it for me. You got it for me, Charlie?
Need a motion to adopt?
So move.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
Good luck with your transportation business.
Thank you, Pastor.
Item 9, resolution approving an application for an alternative transportation service doing business as disability as an ability toward success, Moms on the Move, 3015 McGee Road.
Would Representative item number 9 please come forward? Item number 9, ability toward success, Moms on the Move. All right, I'm gonna carry the item over.
Yes, sir. Item number 10, resolution declaring, authorizing, and assessing cost of abatement of public nuisances on various lots.
All right, need a motion to suspend the rules?
Move to suspend the rules.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
Move to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. I do not have any contingency funds.
All right, okay. In our public communication time for non-agenda items,